It's time for another Dice Tower review with Tim Jennette.
Hey everyone, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and in this video we're going to take a look at a small card game called Straw. Now Straw originally came out in 2006. It was designed by Richard James of Evertide Games. It was republished, or at least published here in by AEG, and it's a 2 to 6 player card game on the same essence as like Uno and Skippo. It says it takes about 30 minutes, but I find that we can pretty much knock this game out in 10 minutes with 4 players. But you have a hand of cards and you're playing them on top of this camel. The camel has a weight limit and you're trying to be the one who does not break the camel's back. Most of your cards are numbers, either positive or negative. You've got a few special cards here and there, but on your turn you're playing a card and you want to get it to the point where it's right at the edge, you know, right close to the weight limit, so when you hand it off to the next player, they break it and then everybody else scores points. So let's take a look at the game. I'll show you how it plays and we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think. Straw comes with a deck of cards and this camel that you put in the middle, and of course the rules and such, but it's basically a deck of numbers. You got positive numbers, you've got some negative numbers, and separated here I've got the special cards, and we'll go over those last, but one person's going to be the dealer, and he's going to give out 4 cards to each player. Then the person on his left is going to begin, and the idea is you're going to take 1 card from your hand, play it on top of the camel, announce the current weight. Each player is going to keep doing that, drawing a new card after they play one, and eventually somebody's going to break the camel's back. They're not going to score any points and everyone else will. So the weight limit is always 50. That's just a reminder in the middle. So you play a card, we've got a 6. So I say 6, I draw a card, next player goes, they put a 3, a negative 3. So now the current weight's 3, and you just keep going. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, obviously players wouldn't play them in this order, but it's going to ramp up pretty quickly, usually get up to maybe the mid 40s, and then somebody is going to have to play a card that's going to break the camel's back, taking it to 51 or higher. At that point, everyone else will score points in their hand. In this case, you would get 10, 13, 14, 18 points. Now, let's say you actually had a negative card in your hand that does impact your score. So in this case, you would have 15 minus 3 and only score 12 points. The idea is you want to balance the cards that you have in your hand and not always keep all the large ones, because if it gets too close to 50, then you're going to break the camel's back because you have all large cards and somebody passed it to you at like 47 or something. So let's take a look at some of the special cards real quick. There's the Aladdin's lamp. When you play this, you get to pick a number up to 10, 1 through 10. So if this was at 15, you could say, I'm going to add 5. So it's at 20. There's a copy. Copy will copy whatever number is that it just landed on. So if there was a 3, it's going to copy that 3 and make the total 6 or whatever. If you copy Aladdin's lamp, you get to pick a new number. You've got reverse, which, by the way, all these cards are 0 points at the end of the scoring. So you want to have them, but you don't want to keep them, you know, to the end. You want to end up with point scoring cards. But this does get you out of trouble. So the reverse play, it's your card for your turn, but it also changes the direction of play. And then we have the straw. There's only 1 copy of this in the deck, and essentially if you're the one to break the camel's back by playing this card, which means that the camel has to be passed to you, or your turn has to come up when it's already at 50. Once it's at 50, you can break it going just over 50, break the camel's back. You score for all the rest of the cards in your hand, and no one else does. The game will play, you play 1 round per player, so in a 4-player game, each player is going to take 1 turn being the dealer, and then whoever has the most points is the winner. Now there's also, I think, older printings of the game where you play to a point limit. So let's say 400 points or something like that, and then you just keep playing rounds until somebody gets the score. And that's pretty much how Straw is played. And there you go, that's Straw. Like I said, super simple, light game, but man, is this fun. I really enjoy this game. The first couple times I played it, I was kind of like, you know, we're just playing cards, okay, you won, whatever. But as I played it more, especially with like 3 players, maybe even 4, it's a lot it has more tactical decisions than I thought it did, because it's constantly your turn and you're trying to cycle cards out and have that right combination of cards to be safe, be able to put other players in danger, and to score the maximum amount of points, because you don't want a ton of good cards or high cards, because it's not going to do anything to you when it gets back to you. Now, in a 6-player game, maybe a 5-player game, it comes around to your turn less, so that those tactical decisions aren't there. I mean, you basically have some of the same cards you started the game with usually. So I like it better with lower amount of players, even though it is kind of fun and light with a higher amount of players. So it's a great game. I totally recommend it to anybody who likes little card games. I know I compared it to Uno, which some people are just going to shrug off, but it really is like a good version of Uno. I mean, I personally don't care for Uno that much, or Skippo, whatever, those little card games that you know, insert name here. But this game really just appeals to a lot of people, and it's really cool. In the previous versions, like I said in the overview, there's a scoring method you can do instead. I think that kind of works. I mean, I kind of like both ways. I think maybe the points is cool, but just playing for each player to be the dealer once works just as great to me. So I totally recommend checking out Straw, like I said, especially if you like little card games, and give it a try. So until next time, keep on rocking and rolling dice.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.